was about the grind. Yeah, the bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. Happy Friday, Nasties. How you doing today? TGIF. Boy, it's been a long week. It's Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, and Salas here with you on EST Afternoons, a little tardy. The boys were waiting to see if anything dropped big at 1 o'clock. Nothing too big. Bobby McCann, to Seattle. Still some trades trickle in. We're all over it here on EST Afternoons, live from the William Huff Studios. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat, slam that thumbs up, and hit us up on the River Korean Box 780-218-9999. Of course, we're all over it today. We're going to talk all these trades that went down. Not a lot today, Joaquin. A little bit of a slow day for sure. Like I said, some insiders are reporting trades still trickle in, so we'll try to keep track of everything here as we're live. And the Oilers, as many expected, did not do much today. They jumped on the trade deadline a little bit early. So, it's what was expected. A lot of silly rumors out there that got people excited. But in the end, it's the three guys from Chicago. They will all make their debut tonight on Edmonton Oilers game night as they take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Joaquin, how was your trade deadline viewing here at the EST headquarters?
That's fine. Everything was done before. When has it been a really good trade deadline? I guess there's been someone come in late. Like it was it Vegas last year with Hurdle?
That was a couple. It was before I was here because I was listening to you guys, and you guys both, you and Dusty, you were doing a show with Dusty.
Oh, was I?
And you guys started laughing because they got hurt.
Oh yeah, Vegas doing it again, right? Last year, I guess it was Brad Marchand. That was the big one, right?
Yes.
That's where it made us go, oh. But I'm always reminded of our of Rob Brown, and he said this. I was in the car years ago listening to him, and he says only one team gets it right.
Yeah,
and you look. They had a thing on Trade Center today. They showed the trades that were made when the guy that was traded at the trade deadline went on to a team that won the Stanley Cup. The names on that list aren't the names that you would think they are.
Yeah.
Like Marchand, obviously last year is one of them. But I went through that list of people and I'm like, geez, they weren't huge deals, right? You wouldn't go, oh, that put them over the top. That's why that's why they're going to win the cup this year. There was only I think Brad May won, was it? Like some of the players I didn't even know. Like I couldn't really remember who they were. So sometimes this doesn't always work out the way the way you think it is. Like when you bring in the big name, I think it's detrimental to your team, to tell you the truth.
That's a good point. And if you're bringing, so like let's look back at Panarin right now. The team hasn't gone better. They haven't, right? They traded Corey Perry today. That's a good point, Joaquin. Like sometimes the elite teams are kind of like, look at Colorado. They added Nick Raw. They added Kulak. Dallas added Myers, added Bunting.
But I think this was just on actual trade deadline day, right? So I think the biggest trade of the year that I think impacts a team the most this year obviously has to be the Quinn Hughes trade.
100%.
That he has made them. Yeah. He's made them a Stanley Cup contender to a Stanley Cup favorite.
Yeah,
I think with the Minnesota Wild.
No, that's completely fair. Completely fair. And listen, the Oilers after all these deals didn't have a lot to work with today. They would need retention, of course, and they didn't need to move a body, move some money out. So it was always going to be tough. There's a lot of talk about the goaltending for Edmonton. Joaquin, listen, I still think they can try and move Tristan Jarry in the offseason, sure, but I never bought into that they were getting a goaltender at the deadline.
Who?
The Oilers.
To get a...
Yeah, because there were so much rumblings today. Kevin Weeks throwing it out there that
I know.
Ingram was being discussed, and I was just like, what?
I think if look, those guys watch a lot of hockey, but they don't watch everything, you know. And I can almost guarantee if Kevin Weeks was in this market on a regular basis and watched like at length some of the games that the Oilers have played, I think he would see that that Connor Ingram is a very capable goaltender. Like you hear Noodles talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised how glowingly Noodles did talk about Connor Ingram, because granted I didn't watch many Utah games, right? But from what I've seen from him this year, and we talk about styles of play from goaltenders and what's kind of the best fit, and I do think that Connor Ingram is the type of his type of style, the way he plays, benefits the way that the Oilers, well, hopefully they start playing with the two new guys that they've added.
That's the thing. He's the number one right now. Tristan Jarry is getting the start. All three guys expected to play. Give you some numbers. Connor Murphy, 5. Jason Dickinson will be wearing 16, and Docker will wear 34. All right. Still some trades trickling in here. I'll try to keep track of as many as I can, but we'll continue the Oiler conversation. I know a lot of people are probably a little bit upset, but I mean, you had to be a little realistic that they were done after what they did yesterday, or the day before, sorry, because it was announced on Wednesday when we were on location. So, I mean, it's great to throw elite names out there, but it's got to make sense. The math has to add up. So, Ryan Strome, the latest, heading to Calgary for a 2027 7th round pick. And here are the details. Bobby McCann to the Seattle Kraken for a second round pick in 2027 and a 4th round pick this year. And Justin Falk goes to the Red Wings in exchange for Justin Hall, a to be determined 1st round pick and 3rd round pick. So those are the latest. And then if you missed it, Braden Shen goes to the Islanders for Jonathan Drouin, a 1st round, 3rd rounder, and Marcus Jidloff there. So there is reports that Scott Lawton has been traded from the Toronto Maple Leafs as well, Joaquin.
Oh, good.
So we'll keep tabs on that. Saravelli also stating that Vincent Trocheck did not get traded. One of the bigger names out there, Joaquin. And then let's be honest here, none of the big names really moved, like the Robert Thomas,
I think
Kadris.
It was Bobby McMahon on their top 10 trade bait list. Was it? I can't remember. But he was kind of a big name. These are the guys that sat out with for the Leafs, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a little bit of retooling. I'm surprised the Canucks didn't really get a lot done.
No. They got rid of Garland.
Yeah.
Hell of a player.
I really like Connor Garland.
You're big on Garland. You love Garland. He goes to Columbus. They got rid of Myers. I saw Jeff Patterson, friend of the show, say that he's hearing from another Vancouver media member that Vancouver has a couple more trades in the queue.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see on that. I don't know how big they will be. Is it something substantial? We'll wait and see on that. And we're going to talk winners and losers and all that. If you missed it last night, because it was crazy last night, Joaquin, some trades came in late. Corey Perry goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning for a 2028 2nd round pick. Nick Foligno joins his brother with the Minnesota Wild. That's a nice little get there. Future considerations going the other way. Bobby Brink also goes to the Minnesota Wild. Nice little player there from Philly. He goes for David Juracek. And the one I like the most that dropped last night, John Carlson to the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, you went over what their decor looks like now, and it's the perfect veteran and young guy with their right side just with mean, big. I won't say Carlson's mean, but he's a big body. Very capable still, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Ducks definitely got better, adding that much experience onto the team, right?
Very emotional. Tom Wilson was, he teared up a bit.
Yeah.
There were some reports that they might sign an extension with the aging John Carlson, but look at their defense, Joaquin. Radko Gudas, John Carlson, Jacob Trouba, Jackson Lacombe, Zellweger, and the Russian kid there. What's his name? Do you have it, Coop?
Minchikov?
Minchikov.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good. So now I'm looking at, because remember like a couple of weeks ago I said I want the Oilers to take on Anaheim in the first round.
No, they're gonna.
I'm double thinking that. I am definitely double thinking. If you also missed it, Seattle Kraken have signed Jordan Eberle to a 2-year extension, $5.5 million per 35-year-old former Oiler. Continues to get it done in the NHL. So good on Ebbs there. Let's keep looking at some trades. Of course, Luke Shen, Logan Stanley go from the Jets to the Sabres for Jacob Bryson, Isaac Rosen, a 2027 second rounder, fourth round, and a 2026 fourth rounder. And then we already talked about the Connor Garland one. David Perron, late last night, goes from the Sens to the Detroit Red Wings. And then I think just when we were off, Warren Fogle traded by the LA Kings to the Ottawa Senators. And we're still waiting for a few more. Coop, what do you got?
Yeah, Mayor's Manor reporting that the LA Kings have acquired Scott Lawton from Toronto. So details on that waiting. Dennis
so they're all gone.
Bernstein reposting that.
So LA Kings get Scott Lawton. Mm-hmm. See what the return is on that one. I guess I think Sarah Volley reported, or it was Pierre LeBrun, OEL. I think they were asking for a first, a second, and a prospect.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and good on them for staying true to what they wanted in return. I mean, OEL's way past his prime, so I don't know, man. I don't know. If you also missed it, some Oiler news: Matthias Janmark, Joaquin out for the season after surgery.
I thought they said that. Didn't they say that already?
No, I think it
was reported. Now it's officially official kind of thing. Yeah.
Because it would get the, you have to do that for cap purposes, right? To free up the rest of the year.
I'm going to ask, so Ben Pope from the Chicago Times, who's been on our show, this is Mangiapane, okay, and we'll discuss it in the second segment. This is what he had to say today with the Blackhawks. Ooh. It was a little tough sledding there in Edmonton. I'm happy to get out and have a nice restart with a good organization.
Ooh.
No, I thought Tommy made a good point. We got to listen to it and see in what tone.
No, he went to Chicago. Chicago's like it's an original six.
Yeah. That's the way I took it.
Don't read too far into it.
And it was
on paper, man. Like you could read it how you like.
Exactly. No, but if we actually watch it and listen to it, I think it's the tone Gage is saying. Like, yeah,
it's a great friend. Yeah,
depends what mood you're in when you're reading that. If you're in a good mood, you're saying, "Oh, he's happy to go to Chicago." Right?
Yeah, he did say it was tough sledding. He did get opportunity here. The first month, he was in top 6 for the majority of it. It just didn't. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. There's a player there for sure. This is probably one of his worst seasons, if not his worst season.
Are you having a heart attack over there?
No, it keeps connecting and disconnecting. Maybe I am having a stroke. Smile.
It hasn't been that stressful this trade deadline, has it?
Hey, shout out to Mike, the Michigan fan, for bringing some tasty ribs. Wow. Holy smokes.
Those were great.
Fantastic. And some cheese. What was the cheese thing, Coop?
The smoked cheese.
Smoked cheese. It was fantastic.
Smoked cream cheese.
A ton left in the kitchen there, so I'm sure we're all going to go through it here as the day moves on. Of course, remember, Reed Wilkins coming up with the Reed Wilkins Show. He's riding solo today with Coop. They'll take you right up until 6. And Tom Gazzola, Matt Cassian for the final time, and Ben Thompson will have the Oil Stream pregame show followed by the postgame show later tonight. On the other side of the break, we'll keep tracking trades coming through the queue here late as the trade deadline has passed at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll continue to tee up Oilers and Canes tonight. In the second hour, we'll be joined at 2:20 by Derek Van Dies, and at 2:40, Michael Tracos from the Hockey News will join us. We'll go around the NHL with those two fellas, get their thoughts on winners and losers and all that. Of course, we want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. That is our afternoon inbox, which is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. And they are proud to present Unified MMA U68. Friday, March 27th gets going at 7 o'clock. Tickets are on sale. All you have to do is go to River Cree Ticketmaster box office, and the tickets are starting at $89.25. We're back with more hockey talk on the other side of the break. It's Joaquin Gage. It's Hernan Salas, and here's Coop. Sports Update time.
With 7 games around the NHL, Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, and Colton Dach all make their Oilers debut, with Edmonton playing host to Carolina. Tristan Jarry gets a start for that one. And Tom Gazzola, Ben Thompson, they hit the airwaves at 6 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. That gets going right here on EST. Other Oilers news, Matthias Janmark, he's officially out for the remainder of the season, undergoing surgery to address an undisclosed injury. And a few moves trickling in following trade deadline. Blues acquiring Justin Hull, plus a first and third round pick for Justin Falk. He's headed to Detroit. Earlier, St. Louis trading captain Braden Shen to the Islanders for Jonathan Drew and a first and third round selection, as well as Marcus Gidloff. And from Toronto, the Leafs have moved Bobby McCann to Seattle. Second rounder for next year and a fourth round pick coming the other way. And for the captain, Jordan Eberle, signing a 2-year extension worth $11 million total. From Florida, the Jays and Pirates are live 6-2 top of the 8th inning to the World Baseball Classic. It's Mexico and Great Britain tied at 1-aside, bottom 7. And in the association, there's 7 games total. The Spurs and Clippers matchup there on the hardwood. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood, Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood, Leduc. They're the experts you need to know. More trade deadline talk after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Sportsnet's Luke Gazdick.
I don't think Dickinson was their first choice. And the only reason I say that is because I think they would have just done the whole deal together. They would have just done Murphy, Dickinson, and Dach all at once. Tells me they got Murphy. They went back to the drawing board. They had something else, or they were looking for something, or had maybe multiple deals on the table. Something fell through. Then they go to Dickinson. So it tells me that Stan's looking everywhere.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Sentinel Storage congratulates Team Canada for all their perseverance, dedication, and commitment, for representing our country so well. Our athletes make us proud to call Canada home. Sentinel Storage, proudly Canadian and official storage partner of Team Canada.
Get ready for a boot-stomping good time with Gord Bamford. Live in the venue at River Cree Resort and Casino. Gord Bamford, March 20th, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino and CFCW. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Looking for flooring? Paramount Flooring has it all. Sales, service, and expert installation. With options for every style and budget, open 7 days a week. We've got you covered. Quick delivery and in-stock deals. Plus, EST listeners get 10% off. Visit ParamountFlooring.ca today.
Real fans don't stroll in at puck drop. They claim territory. They study the screens. They get into their spot, which is why this matters. The Canadian Brewhouse now has happy hour. Brand new. Tons of options. And the good stuff, like our 8-inch 2-topping RCM pizza and our signature Caesar. Monday to Saturday, 2 till 6 p.m. starting at $3.99. That's more than enough reason to come early. New happy hour at the Canadian Brewhouse. If you're serious about game day, we'll see you for happy hour.
Call the dogs off. What is happening? Call the dogs off.
Dun, da, da, da.
Finishing up the heater.
We're back here on EST Afternoons on this wonderful Friday. Weather's supposed to get super nice. It was supposed to be like 16, 17. Last time I checked, it went down to 6.
Yeah, so that's not going to...
A little wishful thinking there for Hernan there as the weather. It's Alberta weather. It changes nonstop. So now it's saying tomorrow +7, which is still damn nice. I'm not going to complain about that. It's Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas here alongside Zach Kubish on EST Afternoons, the trade deadline. A bit of a downer today. It wasn't as busy. Now, a lot of teams got in on the action earlier in the week, as did the Edmonton Oilers, picking up Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, and Colton Dach from the Chicago Blackhawks. So, Joaquin, if I were to ask you, what grade would you give Stan Bowman for the trade deadline?
A grade? That's tough. Because he addressed a need, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of put himself in that situation.
Yes.
So you can't really, it's like you redid a test. I'll give it a B because if he did this, I don't know. Hindsight's always 20/20 with this, but he had to shore up things. But he did address the dire need of this team, and that was defense. And we'll rip it to shreds tonight.
Yes, we will. I think me and Dusty decided on like a B minus C. Because I think Dusty's in the same boat as you and I, Joaquin, where, listen, he addressed the needs that this team needed, which is good, but we're more wait and see how these players work out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's with everyone too, right? You have to wait and see. Trying to think of who really won the day. I don't think there's anyone that really. I guess if you look at the Leafs right now, they did unload a lot of stuff and retooled, which is important for the future. Mm-hmm. You got to look at that too. They're
I thought all three Central teams, Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas, did well.
Well, that's the arms race, right?
Yeah.
Like in a perfect scenario, right now, anyways, one of those three teams or two of those teams would meet in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yes,
where you would think they would be, but I like what Tampa Bay did going to getting Corey Perry again. Like, this guy doesn't know how not to get to the finals, right?
Well, can he actually win it with the Lightning this time around? Because he joined their team after they won back-to-back cups, right? And then
how pissed would Edmonton fans be if you won it with Tampa?
Part of me is kind of cheering for him.
Me too.
I found him to be obviously going to Chicago. The unfortunate, whatever happened, he gets he gets his contract null and void. Comes to Edmonton, and you just saw what a professional he is, and what a talent he is. Where you could play him. Didn't matter where you played him in the lineup. He had success. You put him on the fourth line. He does everything right.
Yeah.
Put him with the big dogs. He's making plays. Like, it's impressive how good a hockey player Corey Perry has been. And he's already a Hall of Famer, but just on his resume up to this point. But you got to think if he can go win a cup this year, you got to think that's kind of first ballot kind of stuff when you look at the resume.
Oh yeah, I'd be happy for him. I'd be extremely, extremely happy for him. Send us your grade for Stan Bowman to the River Cree Box 780-218-9999 and on the Nasty Chat as well. What letter grade would you give Stan Bowman for his deadline deals? Also, who's the winner and who's the loser for you as well this trade deadline? Because if I'm looking at it a little bit, I know on the panel they're saying they're a little surprised Detroit didn't do more. They got Falk at the end. Mm-hmm. It's a good addition. I'll give you one team in the East that I thought would be more active. That was Montreal.
Yeah, well, I think anyway with Detroit, anyways, all the stories I heard of Detroit when I was playing was how tight knit they were and how they did something really unique. I always heard it was they had workout groups. And I think I forget, it might have been Malpe that was talking about this, but so his group was like, I don't know, it was Yzerman, McCarty, and maybe whatever, we'll throw Lidstrom in there, right? Yeah. So, there's some days, like anything, you just don't feel like working out, or so after every practice, they went and worked out and they had these workout groups and they held everyone else accountable. So when they were going to go do something in their little group and one guy, I don't know, and they'd drag that guy with them. And that takes a very unique culture that's in that. And I'm sure it's been the same all the way through because all those players, they just pass it on.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the case where Yzerman likes what he sees and he's a former player. He's a former player of that particular dressing room. And maybe he just says, I know what it's like when guys come in and I like where my team's at. I don't want to have it. I don't want to have those kinds of disruptions of messing up the lines, moving guys in certain roles, maybe down.
Yeah.
Maybe a guy's playing in the top six. Now you're moving him down to the bottom six and you get, well, I was getting more ice time before, right? It's a fine line to to kind of navigate. And we'll see tonight too, right? You have guys that are used to playing upwards of 15 minutes. And so we'll see.
Yeah, because if I'm looking at Detroit right now, Detroit's 5 points up on the last wild card spot. Montreal's kind of dipped a little. They're only 3 points up.
Yeah.
So a little surprising there. On the West, Vegas, they got in on the action a little bit earlier. Cole Smith out of Nashville, but they're usually getting the big name. They're awfully quiet today.
But they're also in first place too.
Yeah, and they have a good team.
Yeah.
They're just not playing up to where they're used to. Utah added Mackenzie Weegar. The Kraken added Bobby McCann. San Jose, not really much doing there. LA gets rid of a few guys, brings a few guys in. So a very interesting trade deadline for sure. A few trades trickling in. So the Canucks send David Kampf to the Washington Capitals for a 6th-round pick in 2026. And then they also ship Lucas Reichel to the Boston Bruins for a 2026 6th-round pick. So Vancouver adding a ton of picks here. Good on them. I mean, they're in rebuild mode. The full tank, they're doing it correctly, Joaquin. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity to get a guy like McKenna, it's franchise organization changing for that team.
Well, you hope.
Yeah.
Are you sold on McKenna? I've seen him play in junior, and I'm leaning more towards. And he's a young guy playing college, right? And who knows if Bedard went in and played college at his draft year, maybe he wouldn't have had the success he had in the Western League, right? But McKenna ripped the Western League apart last year. So it was obviously the next step. And he's, I think Trev even said that he's doing a little bit better right now, right? He's kind of coming along. So, but I would put McKenna right now in that, it's still good, but the Bedard mold, right?
That's fair. That's because he's not even the consensus number 1 pick right now for a lot of the draft boards.
I guarantee if he was in Medicine Hat right now, he would be. Because he'd have 150 points.
Yeah, he would. All right, rolling along here. Let's look at some of the grades. The Nasties. Big Uke says B-. Runner says C+ maybe. Scott Thompson B-. So yeah, a lot of the same. I mean, again, it wasn't a terrible deadline for the Edmonton Oilers. Not even close. They got.
You can't give a B- because if you take your report card, you can just put a little line on it and make it a B+. That's what I used to do with all my C-.
Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. I'm just scrolling here Twitter to see if anything new has popped up. Joaquin, nothing as of yet. The Lawton trade from the Leafs is for a 3rd-round pick. It's conditional as well. And then nothing really else coming down the pipe. So we'll continue to wait. There could be some late action here.
It'll be, seeing all these kind of UFAs going, it'll be July 1st will be interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And draft these teams that are acquiring picks. I think the teams that are out of the playoffs actually did a lot better than the teams that are going into the playoffs on draft day, just with what they were able to get.
Yeah. Someone brought it up. Detroit has over $50 million in cap space.
Yeah.
They can do a lot.
They'll be doing a lot.
Oh, boy. Victory 69 says, losers, Canucks and Flames should have done more. Winners, the sellers, St. Louis and the Jets. Sure. I mean, Canucks got rid of 4 players, so.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Well, it's hard because those 2 players that are probably appealing to a lot of teams are Kadri and DeBrusk, right? But then it's just the length of those deals, too. I wonder if they get moved. Do you think Kadri gets moved in the offseason?
I think Calgary's going to do everything they can to. Not because he's a bad player.
No.
They just want the cap space.
What about Huberdeau?
Ooh.
That's a tough one, hey?
That's a tough one to move. Almost like that's nurse-like, right?
But he's still a pretty good player.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
No, he is. It's just that
10-5 for another 4 years. Is that right? Jeez.
In some reports out of Winnipeg, Ken Wiebe says he thinks Tanner Pearson is being dealt as well for a late round pick. So Winnipeg also selling off some players there. What were your thoughts on a not a very exciting trade deadline? Those poor guys on TS. They had a lot of spots to fill, but they did a wonderful job, like they always do. Pardon me.
Lucas Reichel to the Bruins.
Yep. He's a guy that I think Vancouver picked up early in the year off waivers, and he played a couple games, and they're like, nope. So the funny thing is when they picked him off waivers, there were some Oiler fans saying, why didn't the Oilers grab him?
Yeah.
So it's, we move along.
That's like going to Winners, right?
Cool.
Getting a discount.
Yeah.
Why not? Didn't fit, though. Had to return it.
Well, you just keep it and then maybe give it to somebody else.
Yeah, re-gift it.
Yeah.
Where's Seattle right now in the stand? Yeah, they're in the last wildcard spot? Yes, they are. 67 points, 3 points up on Nashville, LA, and San Jose. So they picked up a good player that's going to help them as well. Bobby McCann's a UFA, is only making just over $1 million. So quite the get there if they can keep him too, Joaquin. I think that's the key one there. Still fairly young, but a good pickup from the Kraken. We didn't really hear that because Saravelli reported earlier that he was hearing the Avs in McCann. We were like, oh boy, they just keep loading up, but it ends up being Seattle. All right, keep hitting us up on the nasty chat. River Korean Box 780-218-9999. Up next, we will tee up this big game tonight here in Edmonton as the Oilers host the Canes with the three new guys in the lineup. We'll see where Dickinson lines up and Mr. Dach as well. Don't forget, we got the Oil Stream pregame show coming your way at 6 o'clock. Tom Zola, Matt Cassian for one final time, and Benny Thompson will take you and preview the game with you. Like always, slam that thumbs up for us. Let's get to 100. Everybody's pumped up for this game. But up next, preview of Canes Oilers, and we'll hear from the newest members of the Edmonton Oilers as well. In hour two, Derek Van Diest and Michael Tracos as we go around the NHL with those gents. And like always, the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Check out their Tap 25 restaurant where the prime rib special is just $21.99. Available 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. We're back here on EST Afternoons with Joaquin Gage and Hernan Salas after the break.
Three news members of the Oilers, Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, and Colton Dach, all making their debut with Edmonton playing host to Carolina. Tristan Jarry gets a start, and you can check in with Tom Gazzola, Ben Thompson on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They hit the airwaves at 6 right here on EST. Other Oilers news, Matthias Janmark, he's officially out for the remainder of the season, undergoing surgery to address an undisclosed injury. And some trades around the NHL. Blues acquiring Justin Hall plus a first and third round pick, shipping Justin Falk to Detroit. Earlier, St. Louis trading captain Braden Shen to the Islanders for Jonathan Drouin, a first and third round pick, as well as Marcus Gidloff. From Toronto, Bobby McCann's on the move, being dealt to Seattle for a second round pick in next year's draft and a fourth rounder for this season. Toronto also sending Scott Laughton to the Kings for a conditional third. To the field, NFL Network's Adam Schefter reporting that the Texans have released Joe Mixon. And live in baseball, it's the Jays leading the Pirates 8-2, bottom of the 8th inning, 11 games underway. In MLB action, to the association, the Spurs and Clippers, they match up for a total of 7 games on today's schedule. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution. Every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. More with Hernan and Joaquin following the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
EST Hangout.
What would you like to see the Oilers still do possibly today if they can?
I would like the Oilers to trade Darnell Nurse.
the first round pick, I cowered for Cale Makar, and I would like the Oilers to trade a first, a second, Tristan Jarry for Vasilevsky.
You too, Trev. Hand up the flat life.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hey Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $430,000 on Desert Fantasy? Think about the rec room you could build with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there has never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery, all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Edmonton, be part of history. Support Canada Soccer's men's national team as they battle Uzbekistan in the final send-off series ahead of the FIFA World Cup. Monday, June 1st at 7 p.m. at Commonwealth Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Time for a new career in 2026? Or maybe your kid is still pondering their path. Good news! Weiss Johnson is hiring. It's Dennis, and not only are we hiring for heating and air conditioning, we're also looking for experienced plumbers and gas fitters. With the growth in residential development, there's no shortage of opportunities at Weiss Johnson. Choose your path with us. Learn from one of the industry leaders, and we will grow together. Receive great benefits and school reimbursement as well. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
All the dogs off.
Hey, welcome back to this Friday edition of EST Afternoons. Nice and cool and relaxed. Our Joaquin, Gage, and Hernan Salas. Zach Kubish. Coming up at 3.
Well, this is soothing sounds in the afternoon.
We should do our show with just music in the background.
Just jazz in the back?
Just
some chill jazz. I watched kind of I was only a few minutes in, but that movie Sinners looks good so far. Oh, there we go. That's
cool.
That's it.
This is
I don't know what kind of music. I'm not making out with Hernan anytime soon. Jesus.
Not the mood we were looking for, but
maybe a strong embrace hug or a firm handshake. But that's as far as I go.
Oh, baby. That's too funny. Just some messages on the inbox. This one says, B grade. They got better, but I still wish they would have kept the assets for some potential summer trades. Yeah, I understand that. Collingwood Rob says, Bowman gets to see he created the mess and he fixed it, but it cost him. This only gets upgraded to a B plus if they make it to the conference final. Brandon from Windsor says, I'm happy with the deals. Low key to steady the team. Yeah, and Gager just made a good point. Like, sometimes the good teams just need to do that, fill some needs and not go out and get the elites of the elites. Let's hear the trade deadline Friday. Feels like it should have gone. Feels like we should have all gone out on a Thursday night bender like we did in university, from Dave in Section T, who was also here today.
Yeah.
And who's in our fantasy league.
Yeah, got him in. This message is curious. Luke in Cowtown.
Oh.
Since you guys are on the interwebs, you must know what you're talking about. So can you explain what the Kings are doing?
That's a very good point, Joaquin. So they traded Fogle. They traded Corey Perry, and they bring in Scott Lawton. No, they made their big move before the Olympics, bringing in Panarin. They lose Fiala. That's a very good question. I don't know what they're doing.
I think what's hurt the LA Kings is Kopitar leaving, right? He's still a really good player. But, I mean, we talked to Bernstein about this. So the heir apparent was supposed to be Byfield. And he just seems to, he hasn't got it together. Like 2 playoffs in a row, I would say for the first 3 games, he's been kind of the Kings' best player. Him and Kempe have been unbelievable. And then he didn't get that puck out the one time. But look, they lose. They're going to lose Kopitar.
Yep.
I don't think they get Kuzmenko back. The D is concerning. The goalies aren't getting any younger. But the one thing that you look at now is the cap space for the Kings, right? So they're gonna be in a good spot. So maybe they do something there, but they're gonna have to move some of these. I think they got to get a little younger.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need a little bit more skill too. They have a lot of the two-way guys.
The Fiala injury really hurt.
Yeah, it did.
That was a blow. Like, I can't imagine what Ken Holland was doing on probably his porch in Vernon when he saw that happen.
But it's crazy what happened with Warren Fogle. Last year, he was great for the Kings. This year, he was healthy scratched a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've always liked Fogle, but he always leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
You know? He's like that really good appetizer that there's not much on the plate.
You get those 3 little shrimps.
Yeah,
and they're tasty.
They're just great, but you just want one more shrimp.
You're like, damn, I wish there were 6 on this one instead of 3. Oh, man.
See, he's like a 4-pack of McNuggets. Why would he get a 4-pack?
Who gets a 4-pack?
Who gets a 4-pack?
All right, guys. I'm settled in.
I'm starting to, that's what I'm doing from now on. I'm comparing all hockey players to food.
Okay. Ooh, this is fun. What's
maybe I'm going to tease it. That next tune in next Thursday for the Red Light District, where Joaquin Gage compares top NHLers to fine cuisine.
Okay, give us one right now. I'll give you the name from the Edmonton Oilers, Darnell Nurse.
It's probably, I would say, a Burger Baron burger in Westlock. You don't know what it is. It might be okay, but you could get the runs later. Tell me I didn't nail it.
You nailed it.
I nailed it.
Burger Baron is awesome. Oh,
because you're so excited to see it. You know, you're hungry. You get the Burger Baron. You see the list. You get it, and it's like, ooh.
I'm doing this every day. I'm giving you a name, and you're just giving me a food. We just built a new segment. Oh man, because Burger Baron sometimes is good.
Sometimes it's really good.
Yeah. We're not saying it's bad,
but it's good because if you're in Westlock, you're probably going somewhere, you know, and you see it there, and you go, "Oh, that's what I want for the drive home."
Yeah,
right. Burger Baron burger,
and it's supposed to be old reliable.
Yeah,
and then I mean, some locations, you know, it happens with every restaurant. Yeah, I get where you're going with that. That was spot on.
Yeah, hot on the outside, middle's cold.
Stay away from the mushroom burger.
Yeah.
Oh, last time Hernan had that. Bad times. Bad time. Hey, so the Oilers take on the Carolina Hurricanes. They're a hell of a team. They're a wagon. They're 39-16-6. Their last game was a 6-4 win over the Canucks on Wednesday night. Power play, they're 11th in the league. PK, they're 13th in the league. So they're right there. Not too bad. Not great either, but pretty solid, consistent. We'll find out. I'm going to look for some lines here shortly. Aho leads him with 61 points. Seth Jarvis with goals in 26. The Oilers have won the 3 of their last 4 against Carolina. It always seemed like Carolina would come in here and just whoop them.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been the case as of late. If you missed it, no lines today at the optional for the Edmonton Oilers, but we're expecting the 3 guys to play. We saw the D pairing. It's going to be Wallman and Connor Murphy, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Emerson. We don't know the forward lines just yet where Dickinson and Dach are going to fit in, so we'll have to wait till the warm-up around 6:30-ish for all that fun stuff. There is one confirmation. Joaquin Tristan Jarry gets a start for the Edmonton Oilers. Do you like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I got to get to Jen Cool real quick.
Okay.
She's in the net. You know what they are not busy doing is inviting the winner of the F1 Fantasy League last year to do an interview on the show as promised. Yeah, I know. We're busy here. But you know what? I sent the invite. I don't think he got it though. Did he get it?
Barry?
Yeah.
I think I saw him in there.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, we'll try to get him in here next week, early next. Now the trade deadline's over and all that stuff. It's been a busy week with trades and stuff like that. So
and we were on the morning show.
Yeah,
that kind of messed everything up.
The morning show's only for the elites. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Barry's not elite, but the Nazis would be like, "Who do these guys have on?"
Yeah.
Now he has the trophy, right?
No, I've still got the trophy.
You didn't trust him with it.
I got to get it engraved somehow. Anyone know a cheap engraver?
Let's just do it here.
Really? We could.
Live on the air.
Who's your betting favorite from our fantasy league to finish first?
I don't know.
Because Van Owen says he hasn't received the link.
Okay, Van Owen, what's your email address?
Text it in or send it. Yeah.
Text it or send it in, and I'll get you the link. I know Van Owen's quite knowledgeable. Could Barry repeat?
He should.
Yeah.
He did well. Like he
did really well.
He was way ahead of a lot of us.
Yeah. I think we have a lot more people that will pay more attention to it this year. So
yeah,
maybe I paid too much attention to it. I don't know. I got to find it just.
Well, you weren't enjoying it. Maybe you were too serious about it.
No, I was enjoying it, but I was. I think I was thinking too much, and sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like the trade deadline. You know, you can't go all in all the time. You gotta stand pat because that's what might be best for you.
Yeah, good point. Van Owen says got to make the winner this year's favorite. Yeah, Barry's the favorite going in for sure.
Yeah.
VR says if it's for the elites, why were you two hacks hosting? Dog do we want it, man?
Yeah, I think it was just to show you how great Dusty and Eric actually are.
Don't worry, we won't be back on the morning show. The Dusty hasn't said one thing about it.
How about Dusty last night?
Oh, he was awesome.
Hey?
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a good team. You know what? It was really funny though, because I got on the X machine. I don't know. Elon Musk must have thought, what is going on Twitter today? Because I was scrolling through Dusty's feed. I've never seen so much positivity on Twitter.
Oh, I know. Ever.
Like you got to quit that. He's going to get too big a head. He's got too much confidence.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I scrolled, I would say for a good, 5 minutes of everyone. Like people at TSN, I noticed nasty names. I saw some names that I recognized, but all just a lot of love for the big one. That was great.
And well deserved. And I knew he was going to do great. He's a great play-by-play guy. Seems like he got
It was a good game to call too.
Yeah, a lot of love from Sens fans.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's what's cool.
Like, bring that guy. So good stuff there. Andy Z says, Nurse is a $90 steak that you ordered rare, but comes well done. Oh, boy. Dip Dangle says, is it Stand Pat or Stand Pat?
What did I say?
I don't.
Anyone know a guy named Stan Pat?
Oh, boy.
This is my friend Stan Pat.
Yeah, so we move along. I'm excited for the game tonight, Joaquin. I'm excited to see these two new guys. Not going to lie to you.
Well, it's great because what time's the game tonight?
7.
7? So you got free practice 3 at 6, game at 7, right into qualifying at midnight.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be, good point. And then tomorrow there's Indy, and then Indy and NASCAR running at the same
Then
time.
you got the race at 3.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So a fun weekend ahead, of course, and we're all hoping the Oilers can pull out a dub tonight. First impressions are important.
Yes.
So let's go. Like I said, I'm excited to see the guys, the new guys play tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm intrigued to see where they line up Jason Dickinson. Dusty and I did our lines. We had him with Kapanen and Bob Golden. It's a good line. It's got some speed, physicality. All three guys can defend, and there's a little bit of offense from all those three guys as well. Where would you play, or who would you play Jason Dickinson with tonight in his first game with the Edmonton Oilers? Send those into the River Cree box 780-218-9999. And on the Nasty Chat, slam that thumbs up for us. Coming up next, we will hear from Dickie and Docker. That's what we're... Well, that's their nicknames, right? And we'll be joined by Derek Van Dies and Michael Trakos. Who?
This is the big one.
Who?
Nazim.
No.
Nazim to the Avs.
Wow. Yeah, Darren Drager hearing Nazim Kadri has been traded pending call. Back to the Avalanche.
Oh, there it is. There's always the big one, right? There's the big one.
Son of a biscuit.
Wow.
The last guy you want on the Avs is that guy.
You definitely want to finish in the top 3 now, right?
Holy smokes. There's the big one, man.
So
I'm intrigued on the return, too.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
They probably had to send a young guy. I wonder if my boy Jack Drury's a Flame now.
Ooh.
Because they just got Roy, right?
Yeah. Nicholas Waugh and then of course King Kulak.
So, but look at their down the middle. It's loaded.
They're reloaded.
McKinnon, Nelson, Waugh, and Drury were their centers.
Wow. It's got to be Drury going back.
You would think, right?
Wow. Interesting. Project Dumplings. Man, screw the Flames. Oh, boy.
Nazim Kadri acquired by the Avalanche.
Unbelievable. I just want to see what his cap hit is.
7, isn't it?
He is at... Man, Puckpedia works quick. They already got him off there.
Do they?
Oh, no, wait. I'm looking at the wrong team.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, it's 7. He's got a cap hit of 7.
Wow. For 3 more years after this one.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a hell of a player, man. That's, oh, man. Good for the Colorado Avalanche. It's a good point by Andy. How the hell did that stay quiet all day?
I don't know. Do the Flames actually have $42 million in cap space right now?
Is that what it says on Puckpedia?
Yeah.
Poof.
And Flames have 2 first-rounders, 4 seconds, 2 thirds, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. So they reloaded. Doesn't say what the return is yet, but pretty. That's significant. That is very significant. He's a good player, man.
Oh,
good warrior too. Like you never heard any like. I know at the beginning of his career he was a loose cannon, right? There was hits from behind. He took penalties at the improper times, but he seems to really have reined that part of his game in. But he's still a pest to play against, too.
And guys like this shine in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's where
that sandpaper.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of the Brad Marchand trade. Again, only one team gets it right, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But if you're the Avs, you're all in this year. You might as well be.
Might as well. We wait on the return. We'll get, hopefully we have it by the time we're back for the second hour here on EST Afternoons. Portion of this hour brought to you by William Huff Studios. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout. 780-454-4500. 36. We continue to tee up Oilers Canes. Talk about Kadri heading to Colorado. We'll wait the return. Heading to Calgary. Derek Van Diest, Michael Trejko's. Screw it, let's do a parlay. A loaded second hour still to come here on EST Afternoons. Don't go anywhere. Edmonton Sports Talk's the place to be.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
I want Colton Dach to be a noisy player. He's going to play probably on the fourth line, 10th in the NHL in hits. He becomes the Oilers' leader in hits. He's just a little bit ahead of Podkolzin.
You've brought in two of the top four players in terms of shorthanded ice time from the Chicago Blackhawks. The top-ranked penalty kill in the NHL. I think this penalty kill, that is where you find immediate results.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The road to the FIFA World Cup runs through Edmonton. See Canada Soccer's men's national team before they take on the world this summer. Canada versus Uzbekistan. June 1st, 7 p.m., Commonwealth Stadium. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Get ready for a boot stomping good time with Gord Bamford. Live in the venue at River Cree Resort and Casino. Gord Bamford, March 20th, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino and CFCW. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Real fans don't stroll in at puck drop. They claim territory. They study the screens. They get into their spot, which is why this matters. The Canadian Brewhouse now has happy hour. Brand new. Tons of options. And the good stuff like face-off fried pickles and steins of Bud Light. Monday to Saturday, 2 to 6 p.m. starting at $3.99. That's more than enough reason to come early. New happy hour at the Canadian Brewhouse. If you're serious about game day, we'll see you for happy hour.
Breaking news in the NHL. Multiple reports stating that the Avalanche are bringing back Nazem Kadri, the 35-year-old, in a year 4 of a 7-year deal worth $7 million per season. Kadri with 41 points in 61 games played for the Flames this season. Details on the return expected soon. And back in Edmonton, Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, Colton Dach all make their Oilers debut. Edmonton playing host to Carolina. Tristan Jarry gets a start for that one. Join Tom Gazzola, Ben Thompson for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They hit the airwaves at 6 o'clock right here on EST. Other Oilers news, Matthias Janmark officially done for the season, undergoing surgery to address an undisclosed injury. And from Toronto, Bobby McCann has been dealt to Seattle for a second-rounder in next year's draft and a fourth-round pick for this season. Toronto also sending Scott Lawton to the Kings for a conditional third. To the field, NFL Network's Adam Schefter reporting that the Texans have released Joe Mixon. And over to the association, the Spurs and Clippers match up, a total of 7 games on the schedule. The Lakers and Pacers battle, while Toronto's next opponent, the Mavericks, challenge the Celtics at 5 o'clock. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. Hour 2 of EST Afternoon starts right now.
Hour 2 here on EST Afternoons, and we do have the big trade. Nazem Kadri headed to the Avalanche. Still waiting on the return here. Just refreshing the good old Twitter machine as I speak. Of course, this is EST Afternoons coming to you live from the William Huff Studios. It's Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas, Zach Kubish with you. And Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. Okay, boys, as we wait here for there's no return, right, Coop? I'm not missing anything here.
Well, I'm refreshing. No, I haven't seen anything just yet, but year 4 of a 7-year deal for the 35-year-old. So he's still under contract for a few seasons.
Okay.
Could be a big return.
Yeah. And like Joaquin just alluded to in the last second, they're loaded down the middle. That's some good depth there. We'll see who's going back, if it's just picks and prospects or if it's an actual roster player for the Calgary Flames. But, I mean...
The Avs don't have any picks in the first 3 rounds this year. They have 2 fourths and a fifth, 4 sevenths, no firsts in the net in 2027, 2 in the second, and then a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then 2028. They still have their first round pick. I wonder if that was in play on this.
That too, yeah.
Probably.
Just mind-boggling. Absolutely mind.
So they probably didn't get much. Like I don't know. I'm gonna guess that 2028 first rounder went the other way.
Because it was reported that this Bobby McMahon was going to the Avs. Do you think they were like, wait, we can get Gaudry? We'd rather have Gaudry.
Well, you get a guy that's been there before. Yeah. Most of the team's still intact. Like he knows the coach, the coaching staffs. Nothing's changed since they've won. So you get that nice plug and play player who knows everything, right? Yeah, that's it. That's the advantage of getting a player that you've had previously. We've seen that with Dave Perron too, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. As we await the return on the Gaudry deal to the Avalanche by the Calgary Flames, I'm intrigued by it. Let's hear from one of the newest members of the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go with Jason Dickinson, who will be wearing number 16 today. Here he is meeting with the media following the optional skate down at Rogers Place.
On the trade, and where were you when you found out?
Yeah, I was at home with my kids. We were just sitting down for dinner, and I got the call. Thoughts on it? I'm excited. I think I play a role that I can fill a job here that's needed, and that's all I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to try to do anything more than what I am.
Did you think something was in the works? Did it take you by surprise, considering the way things are going in Chicago?
Obviously, I'm well aware of the trajectory of Blackhawks and what they're trying to do and where I fit in their timeline. It maybe didn't align, so I kind of knew in deep down that something could be happening, and Kyle was kind enough to be very upfront with me from the beginning that he said, it might happen, it might not. I don't know what to tell you right now. This is during the break. He's like, there's nothing to tell you right now, but just be prepared that anything could happen.
Jason, you checked McDavid what's it like being on a team with McDavid?
Yeah, it'll be a lot better. Definitely have my struggles with him, and I've loved doing it, but it'll be a lot nicer to watch him do his thing.
You touched on it already, but to come to a team where they are expecting something from you that you've already done, for a good chunk of your career, like how comfortable is that, just being on the same page, I guess, with the new organization?
Yeah, it would suck to come in here and have them try to put me in a place that I won't have success. Thankfully, we are on the same page. I know what I'm good at. I know what my job is, and that's where my game excels. So I know what I got to do, and I'm going to go out and do it, and that's all they've asked of me.
Most of the guys would like to score goals more often. What do you like in the way you play in the defensive play?
Obviously, I love scoring goals. Don't get me wrong, but my favorite thing about doing what I do is seeing the frustration, seeing the will to win come out of guys during the game. It's a battle, it's a fight the entire time, and seeing the frustration build is a win for me, and I love seeing that, because at the same time it usually creates offense later in the game. It might not happen right away, and it might be a 50-50 game for the first period, the second period, but then it's the longevity to stay with it for the third period, where I'm absolutely grinding them down, and they just don't want to do it anymore.
Did you get much of that out of Connor over the years?
That's Jason Dickinson, the newest member of the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, he goes, I know what I am. and I'm not going to try to be anything outside of that. And sometimes on this Oiler team, Joaquin, we've seen role players kind of think they're offensive because they get a shot up with the big boys or something like that. He's made it clear. And I love the last part when he goes, I love seeing the other guys frustrated. Like, that gets me going. So, good stuff there. Anything you took away, Joaquin?
No. I mean, I think sometimes when guys come to the Edmonton Oilers in the past, it's always, to add that depth scoring.
Yeah.
Like, how many ads has it always been for depth scoring? This is the first time that really I can remember in a long time where the Edmonton Oilers have addressed, we need help on defense. We're allowing too many goals here. All this stuff. And he just he said everything right. I'm not here to score goals. I'm here to shut down and play my game. I think he realizes that by playing against Connor and Leon do enough scoring. We'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll shut these guys down and I think it's an arrow in the quiver that Knoblauch hasn't had over this time, right? The consistent shutdown kind of guy line to be able to play. So maybe you know what interests me the most about tonight is time on ice.
Yes.
That's going to be I would say maybe not tonight, over the whole weekend. So tonight, Sunday, Vegas, I want to see what the ice time distribution looks like on Monday's show.
That's a good point, Joaquin, because, and we said it yesterday, I think, like, we'll believe it when we see it, that you're going to play this guy against the other team's elites, because it's usually Connor and Leon, right? So I'm going to wait and see on that. But you are right. And I'm also intrigued, not only time on ice for forwards, Joaquin, the D pairs.
Oh, yeah.
Because now it's more balanced, right? You don't have a younger third pair with Stastny and Emerson. And unfortunately for Stastny, he has to sit out because I don't think he's done anything wrong.
No.
You know, has his play been top-notch the whole way? No, there's been dips there, but I think he's the least of their defensive problems, him and Emerson. So tough for him to be the odd man out tonight, but that's just the way pro hockey is. All right, let's listen to one more of the new members of the Edmonton Oilers, Docker. Colton Dach? Yeah. Colton Dach. He's from this area. He's very excited. Here he is meeting with the media.
Take us through the moment you found out that you were an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah, it was just at dinner. I started getting some texts from some guys I haven't really talked to it a little bit, and I was just there asking if it's true and checked Twitter, and then I got a few phone calls. So pretty crazy moment.
What can you maybe talk about the opportunity here in Edmonton and also the role that you're looking to fulfill here in this organization?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm super excited to be here. I think just kind of try and bring some physicality, some energy, use my size to my advantage. I think knowing my game and just using my assets to my advantage.
Saw a photo of you as a kid at Rexall Place. I guess it would have been as a kid. What's it like being an Oiler now?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think my mom and dad they were probably the two most excited people on the planet yesterday when they found out. So pretty crazy. We've been coming to games since I don't even remember how old I was, but it's a pretty surreal moment.
Is there added pressure being a local guy playing for you?
I don't really think so. I'm still going out there and playing the game. Maybe walking into the rink it's a little different, but when I step on the ice and tie my skates, it's going to be the same. I didn't go last year. I went the year before though to one of the games versus Dallas. I think there was Stan Coven's on there. I played a few games with him at the World Juniors, so I went and watched him on that one. But I haven't been in a little bit, so.
What's your approach to the physical side of the game? I mean, your hit totals are obviously up there. How do you try and use that?
For me, I think a lot of it's probably in the forecheck, trying to wear a defenseman down. I think if you get on them early enough in the game, they're not really going to be wanting to go back for pucks. Trying to wear them down. When there's a chance to make a big hit, you make a big hit. You follow through with it, and just kind of use my size.
You're a young guy. What's this been like getting traded? Mid-season.
Yeah, it's a little different. I'm pretty happy that Jason and Connor are here as well. I mean, traveling with Jason yesterday helped a lot. I was calling him probably every 15 minutes, what to pack and what to do. So that was helpful. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You're on a team with Connor.
All right, that's Colton Dach, who's going to provide some energy, we hope, tonight, some physicality, muck it up. Seems like a good kid, eh? His parents are stoked. He's, from this area. Says they grew up Edmonton Oilers fans and all that, and that means a lot too. So excited to see him play. I'll be honest, I don't know much about him, Joaquin. I can't remember when the Oilers played him, if he was in the lineup or not.
No, I can't either.
So I don't want to give anyone false analysis on a player that I really don't know much about outside of the hits.
Well, yeah, when they traded from 10th in the NHL in hits, 189, and second lowest ice time in that top 10. So automatically becoming the Oilers leader, I guess, just by joining the team. Because from that day when he was traded to Edmonton, Vasily Podkolzin ranked 13th in the NHL in hits.
Brings up everyone's average.
You know what's crazy, though? Because remember when the Oilers got Max Jones last year and he played his first 2 games? We were over the moon for him.
He was dancing through the middle and toe dragging, getting shots. I'm like, how did this guy? Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't he make that?
And he was physical, and then
Yeah.
after 2 games, it was like, boop, he's out of the lineup. So that's why I think, and these guys, it's tough because they don't play a lot, so they have to make an impact almost every shift to be noticed. So intriguing to see. I'd assume he's playing with Henrique. I don't know who will be on the other side tonight, but once again, he will be wearing number
34.
34. Who else is wearing 34 for the Oilers?
Pisani?
Tyler Bunds.
Tyler Bunds? It's got to be more.
I'll check.
Donald Dufresne?
Andy Dufresne?
From Shawshank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got to get out here. DVD's going to join us next. We'll get his thoughts on what the Oilers did this week, and we'll go around the NHL as well. And Michael Trico's at 440. Keep slamming that thumbs up. I just want to take a quick look where we're at for thumbs. And 57, a little slow. Let's get to 100, only 43 more. So please slam that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button as well. We're back after the break here on EST Afternoons with DVD from NHL.com.
Jason Dickinson, Connor Murphy, and Colton Dach all make their Oilers debut tonight as Edmonton plays host to Carolina. Tristan Jarry gets the call in between the pipes with Tom Cazzola. Ben Thompson going live at 6 with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. Other Oilers news, Matthias Janmark officially done for the season, undergoing surgery to address an undisclosed injury. And a massive move in the NHL. It's Nazem Kadri headed back to Colorado. The Flames swapping him to the Avalanche, of course. Details on the trade to come, but the 35-year-old is in year 4 of a 7-year deal worth $7 million per season. From Toronto, Bobby McCann has been dealt to Seattle for a second-rounder in next year's draft and a 4th-round pick this season. Toronto also sending Scott Laughton to the Kings for a conditional 3rd. And on the field, NFL Network's Adam Schefter reporting that the Texans have released Joe Mixon. On the court, there's 7 games tonight in the association. The Spurs and Clippers matching up. The Lakers and Pacers battling. While Toronto's next opponent, the Mavericks, challenge the Celtics at 5 o'clock. Derek Van Diest joins us next here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
Sentinel Storage congratulates Team Canada for all their perseverance, dedication, and commitment. For representing our country so well, our athletes make us proud to call Canada home. Sentinel Storage, proudly Canadian and official storage partner of Team Canada.
Get ready for a boot stomping good time with Gord Bamford. Live in the venue at River Cree Resort and Casino. Gord Bamford, March 20th, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino and CFCW. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Edmonton, be part of history. Support Canada Soccer's men's national team as they battle Uzbekistan in the final send-off series ahead of the FIFA World Cup. Monday, June 1st at 7 p.m. at Commonwealth Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca.
Hey Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $430,000 on Desert Fantasy? Think about the rec room you could build with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there has never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery, all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
We're back here on EST Afternoons. How you doing out there? It's Joaquin, Gage, Hernan, Salas here. EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk live from the William Huff Studios. Our guests are always presented by Oil Country Towing, Edmonton's most trusted 24/7 roadside rescue team, fast, safe, and reliable for over 15 years. Whether it's a game day or a snowstorm, we work as hard as your favorite team to get you going. Call 780-986-6088 for all your towing needs. And Coop's giving me a thumbs up when our boy Derek Van Dies from NHL.com is ready to go. Just seconds away. Oh, we're good now. Derek Van Dies joins us from NHL.com. Derek, how you doing, my friend? Busy day?
Oh, good. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're doing excellent. It's Friday, you know. The Oilers kept their powder dry today, but made some moves throughout the week. But before we get to the Oilers, just breaking last segment, the Colorado Avalanche acquire Nazem Kadri, just a player, a veteran player who can do it all, who thrives in the playoffs. We're still waiting on the return, but what a get by the Avs, Derek.
Yeah, that had been rumored for a while. I think it'd be a pretty pricey get. I know the Avs were looking at bringing him back. It was a guy that when he left, they never found someone to kind of replace that grit and what he brings. Kadri's a unique player. He's an incredibly skillful player, but he's also got that nastiness to him, that fight to him, that borderline dirtiness to him. That's every playoff team likes to have. I know sometimes he's been known to cross the line a little bit, but I think he's matured, in his time in the league now, and he probably doesn't do it as much as he used to, but yeah, that's a big get for the Avalanche now. We're obviously all in. They're loading up for a playoff run, and to be honest, it's going to be tough to get out of that Central Division. And
Yeah.
Whatever team gets out of that Central Division has got to be considered a Stanley Cup favorite because that division's been so good all season. But yeah, the Avs are obviously loading up, and they're ready for another big cup run. So this is going to be really interesting to see what happens in Colorado the rest of the way.
DVD, what do you think of what the Oilers were able to do over the last few days?
Well, I think they looked at their needs and I think they addressed them. Everyone was talking about they needed a right shot defenseman that can defend. I think that's obviously an issue that the Oilers are having right now is just the little things in their own zone. They're missing their marks. They're leaving the front of the net open. They don't have a lot of guys that can break the cycle. So Connor Murphy's a guy that kind of checks all those boxes. He'll play tough in front of the net. He can break a cycle. He blocks shots. He kills penalties. He's that defensive type that you needed. And I had said prior to today that the Oilers need another Matthias Ekholm type of defenseman. They need to make another trade like they did 3 years ago, bringing Ekholm in that has some offensive skill as well, but he was more known for his toughness and grittiness and his ability to body people off the puck, his ability to hold people off. And I think Connor Murphy does that. So I think they addressed that. And then everyone was talking about they need more from their bottom two lines. And then they weren't getting much that. They got their third line center that they've been really kind of looking after. That was supposed to be a spot that Adam Henrique was supposed to inherit, but he kind of wasn't able to kind of keep it and maintain it. They've tried different guys there, and they essentially did not want to move Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down to the third line center. They like him at the top line. They like him as a complementary piece to Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. That line was working. So if you can bring in another third line center, that'll do that work. He'll win some faceoffs for you. He talked today. Jason Dickinson talked today about he loves that role of kind of frustrating guys and being a good checking guy and leaning on guys all game. So yeah, I think the Oilers need a guy like that. And Dach is another guy that can come in, play fourth line, and he's a banger. He'll go in there and crash and hit some bodies and create some havoc. And the Oilers need a bit more of that as well. They can't just have Podkolzin being the only guy that does that. So I think they met some needs, and they got 3 guys from Chicago that are probably hungry to play in the playoffs. They haven't played in the playoffs in a long time, some of those guys, and they're hungry to go, and they look at now. You kind of get a second life when you go from a bottom feeder team and you're just trying to play out the last 20 games of the year to suddenly you're on a contender and suddenly the games matter in the last 20 games and then in the postseason. So I think those guys are excited to be here, and the Oilers are excited to have them.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on EST Afternoons. Derek, I think we've all he addressed the needs. Is it enough in your eyes, though?
Well, the one thing people are going to say is the goaltending good enough? Yeah. You want to address the defense, and maybe another defenseman coming in here might have helped, or maybe a guy like McCann might have come in here and helped and to provide a little bit of scoring on that bottom 6 unit. But you can only work with what you have, and I think the Oilers were really kind of hamstrung here. They didn't have a lot of cap room. They needed Chicago to retain. They had to basically fix the mistake that they made with Mangiapane. They thought he was going to be a different type of player. It didn't work out, and now you needed someone to help you out and kind of take 50% of that salary. So that's what they did. So I think that's the situation where you take swings, sometimes you miss, and you take swings in the offseason, sometimes you miss, and then you're trying to do what you can. But I think if you put a good supporting cast around Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you still have the makings of a really, really solid Stanley Cup contender. And then you can never count those 2 guys out. And now you add some good pieces that may work out. Janmark's not coming back, so he's done for the season. So we'll see how Kapanen's doing. He's been hurt off and on all year. So I think now you can have some pieces there, that you have some complementary pieces that can help this team. So I it's never enough. You always want more.
Yeah.
But I think for the circumstances, it was a pretty good job by Stan Bowman.
DVD, you look at some of the players, and obviously this last one with Kadri really loading up the Avs, but just with the Oilers themselves, they're not the big, huge, sexy picks. They're the guys that they brought in. But can this change maybe the philosophy of the team by having some more defensive-minded guys? Because to me, anyways, I think that when your team goes out and addresses a need, that people coming back kind of reflects on the team that you have. So now you have a bunch of guys. Wow, they brought in these defensive stalwarts. I have to pick up my game. So do you think this might change how the Edmonton Oilers actually play the game moving forward these last 20?
Well, I think it'll be a jolt to a lot of the guys. Sometimes things are getting a little stale, so you add 3 new guys to the lineup, and it kind of adds something to it. But yeah, I think it does kind of send a message to everyone else that, hey, we brought these 3 guys in. They're going to challenge for ice time. They're going to challenge for spots in the lineup, and everyone has to kind of pick up their game. So I think that's exactly what it does. The Oilers scoring is not an issue. They can put the puck in the net. Obviously, the issue is that they got to score 5 goals to win because they can't keep the puck out of their net, and they know that's got to be solved. That's got to be a problem to solve. So you try and solve it by getting guys that are in here known for playing well defensively, and hopefully they can kind of up the level of play to everyone. And I think that's maybe what they're looking at here is maybe some of the other guys can take a lead from Connor Murphy and Jason Dickinson and say, okay, this is how you got to play defense. This is how you got to be successful. And this is how we're going to be successful. So, I think it'll be a good shot of energy for the team. And it'll be see how they respond tonight against a very good Carolina team, because it's a really stiff test here. And you look at the Oilers schedule, you got Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, St. Louis. That's no duck walk. Like that's some pretty good teams that they're facing. So, and these guys are getting thrown into the mix. They're getting thrown right in the fire. I asked Chris Knobloch about that today, and he's like, nope, we're just going to let them go and see what they can do. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of injection of energy these guys provide tonight.
Hey, DVD, after the game, straight home, buddy, eh? No going out with Tom.
No, well, it's tough when you got 4 pubs on the way home. You know what I'm saying?
Just call your name.
I got to admit, there has been times where I walked past the pub and the bartender runs out and says, "Hey, aren't you coming in?" That's happened a couple of times. So, so
the damn
it's
honey.
And it is Friday night. No, honey, I'm staying away from that place for sure.
Oh, it's too good. I might see you down at the rink later tonight, Derek. If I don't, though, I'm sure we'll chat again as the Oilers are on the final run here as they head into the playoffs. Thanks for taking the time today, bud.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Ooh, DVD and Tommy Gazzola out on a Friday night. Oh, that's trouble.
That is trouble.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trouble.
We'll see what happens.
But don't you think, man? Because like when guys come in, it's always the narrative is always we need some balanced scoring.
Yeah,
we need some production out of our bottom 6. So you look at guys like Bo Kapanen, Janmark. So I really think that their mindset going out there is I got to contribute offensively. I get to stay in the lineup. I got to show the coach that I can produce.
Yeah.
Now you have like Dickinson, and he goes out there and goes, with a completely different way of thinking, right? I want to play against the top guys and shut them down.
Yeah.
That's how so now, and he's playing with 2 guys that I think their whole, why they were brought in in the first place was to provide some balanced scoring with, if these lines stay the same, it's Dickinson, Kapanen with Podkolzin. So now you got these 3 guys with we don't have to score every night.
Yeah.
Just kind of like what Stan Bowman said, but we can't get scored on.
But for you and your experience, Joaquin, is the impact of 2 guys, can it be felt throughout the team? Like, man, this Dickinson guy's playing really well defensively, boys. Let's shape up here.
Well, not just the optics of it alone.
Yeah.
Because you go into that room, there's all those stalls. One stall hasn't been used all year, and all of a sudden there's equipment in there, right? You got 3 new faces that you're like, wow, this is different now.
Yeah.
You've got new coworkers. So yeah, it's a jolt to in the arm for a lot of guys. And it puts pressure for ice time too.
Yeah, that's another good point. The ice time for sure.
But I like the look of. We talked about the Avs down the middle. Oilers are pretty good down the middle too. McDavid, Draisaitl with Dickinson, and now Henrique.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, very, very solid. It's game day for the Edmonton Oilers. They host the Carolina Hurricanes. They picked up Nick Delorier today. Small little deal for their bottom 6. They're coming in hot, a 6-4 win over the Vancouver Canucks. Rod the Bod will have them ready to go, hopefully, but the Oilers have taken 3 of the last 4 against Carolina Hurricanes team that the Oilers used to struggle with in the past, especially here in Edmonton. So a good game on tap down at Rogers Place. Coming up next, Michael Tracos will go around the NHL winners and losers and all that fun stuff from the trade deadline. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, and they're proud to present Unified MMA U68 on Friday, March 27th. Tickets already on sale. You can find them at the River Cree Ticketmaster box office with tickets starting at just $89.25. We continue to talk hockey on the other side of the break. Michael Tracos from the Hockey News joins us next.
Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, and Colton Dach all make their Oilers debut as Edmonton plays host to Carolina. Tristan Jarry gets the nod in between the pipes. Check in with Tom Gazzola, Ben Thompson on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They go live at 6 right here on EST. Other Oilers news, Matthias Janmark, he's out for the remainder of the season, undergoing surgery to address an undisclosed injury. And a massive move in the NHL. Nazem Kadri off to the Avalanche, being swapped from the Flames. Still details on the return for Calgary yet to come. The 35-year-old, he's in year 4 of a 7-year deal worth $7 million annually. Kadri having 41 points in 61 games played this season. From Toronto, Bobby McCann has been dealt to Seattle for a second-rounder in next year's draft and a 4th-round pick this season. Toronto also sending Scott Lawton to the Kings for a conditional 3rd. On the field, NFL Network's Adam Schefter reporting that the Texans have released Joe Mixon. And over to the association, the Spurs and Clippers matchup with a total of 7 games on today's schedule. Michael Tracos stops by next. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The road to the FIFA World Cup runs through Edmonton. See Canada Soccer's men's national team before they take on the world this summer. Canada versus Uzbekistan. June 1st, 7 p.m., Commonwealth Stadium. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca.
Real fans don't stroll in at puck drop. They claim territory. They study the screens. They get into their spot, which is why this matters. The Canadian Brewhouse now has happy hour. Brand new, tons of options, and the good stuff like our 8-inch 2-topping RCM pizza and our signature Caesar. Monday to Saturday, 2 till 6 p.m. starting at $3.99. That's more than enough reason to come early. New happy hour at the Canadian Brewhouse. If you're serious about game day, we'll see you for happy hour.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
All the dogs off.
We're back here, final segment on EST Afternoons. Reminder, Reed Wilkins show's coming up from 3 to 6. Then it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola at 6 o'clock as the Edmonton Oilers host the Carolina Hurricanes. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Dive into the wing flavor of the month at the CBH. Creamy white cheddar. Rich, cheesy, and smooth like your favorite white cheddar popcorn, but on a saucy wing. Try them before they're gone. And our next guest is from the Hockey News. His name is Michael Tracos, and he joins us on the Old Country Towing video hotline right now. Michael, busy day for you, I could imagine. How you doing today?
Doing all right, guys. Yeah, busy day. You know what? At one point during the day, we were saying, what an underwhelming trade deadline. And then, you know, it was like a half hour after the deadline ended. We're like, Nazem Kadri is going to Colorado. And, you know, ears perk up a bit there. And you're going, okay, not such a bad deadline day, especially if you're the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, let's start there. Pierre LeBrun is reporting that the Flames retained 20% of Kadri as part of the trade. We still don't have all the details on that, Michael. But like you said, the big trade of the day. We just had Derek Van Dies from NHL.com on, and Nazem Kadri is just a perfect fit. Their depth at center now in Colorado is just ridiculous. But Nazem Kadri is a guy for a team that wants to win the Cup. He's a perfect playoff player.
Yeah, and if you're Colorado, you know what you're getting, right? Like It wasn't that long ago that Nazem Kadri, with like a broken thumb, was helping the way to Colorado's Cup run there and, you know, won a championship. So, you know, with a lot of these deadline moves, you know, you don't know how the player is going to fit in, especially when you're slotting him in with new wingers and asking other guys to play different roles. But with Kadri, you're going, okay, you know, you're a third line center. For us, you're going to be playing behind Brock Nelson. And, you know, for Colorado, they know what they're getting in Kadri. They know exactly, you know, the kind of player he is. And for Kadri, you know, you've played for Jared Bednar before, and you've played in that system. So this should be a seamless addition. And same thing with Nicholas Waugh. Like, I thought that was a sneaky good move as well by the Avalanche. A guy in Waugh who didn't look really that good in Toronto, but if you can get the Nicholas Waugh that we saw in Vegas, and I think that's the kind of role that you're envisioning him for him in Colorado, I think now you look at Colorado Avalanche, they've got a center depth that, goes from Nathan McKinnon to Brock Nelson to Nazem Kadri, all the way to Nicholas Waugh. Is there a team with a better, 1, 2, 3, 4 punch in the NHL?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Michael, so taking into account today, maybe a few days prior, who won this trade deadline week, so to speak? And it doesn't always have to be the big splash, but who maybe stockpiled the cupboards or gave themselves the best chance to be maybe retool on the fly in your mind?
Yeah, so when you ask that question, it's got to be like, Colorado literally didn't need to do a single thing, and they would have probably still been the best team in the NHL after the deadline. So, I'll start with them. They went out there and said, okay, we are the top dogs, and, we were before the deadline and we are now. On the flip side of that, I thought Calgary did a fantastic job of, realizing that they needed to move some pieces out, and starting with Rasmus Andersson about a month before the deadline, off to Mackenzie Weegar, then Nazem Kadri, 3 huge pieces off the roster. And, that's going to be a team that, when we're talking about a rebuild, the rebuild has already started there, and, we'll see what they end up at this year's draft and if they can, secure a top 3 pick. But that's a team that really positioned itself for the future. So, from a seller standpoint, I thought Calgary did a ton. Also from Winnipeg standpoint, good on them for realizing that when Buffalo couldn't get Colton Parayko to waive his no trade clause, they swooped in there with, Colton Parayko light, if you want to call him that, in Logan Stanley, and you toss in Luke Shen, and Winnipeg not only gets some picks back, but I think they got some decent prospects as well, and Isaac Rosen. So a couple of Canadian teams really made out real well in terms of sellers.
Michael Tracos from the Hockey News joining us here on EST Afternoons. Just to jump on Joaquin's question, I'll jump to the other side. Who do you think were the losers of this trade deadline that maybe they could have added for the playoffs, but just didn't do much at the trade deadline?
Yeah, it's hard not to look at Minnesota and say, why didn't they go a little harder? I understand the arguments. That's a team that's probably going to have to face the Dallas Stars in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably one of the top 5, a top 5 team is going to go out in the first round just by, the craziness of how strong that Central is. But, they've got Kaprizov, whose contract kicks in next year. This was the year to go for it. You want to show Quinn Hughes that the Minnesota Wild are for real, and, you should be re-signing long term with us. Well, going deep into the playoffs would have made a huge, sent a real message to him. And, that's a team that they just don't have the centers. And they've got Joel Eriksson Ek, who's, a perfect number 2, maybe even a number 3 center on a great team. But, they don't have that top end center that can, really hang with the Colorados and, even if, some of the teams in the Pacific. So that was a team that I was like, okay, why didn't they go a little harder? Same thing with Carolina in the East. Carolina's always stubbing their toe in the conference final. Mm-hmm. I think they're still the team that's going to go to the conference final. But if they're going to face Tampa Bay, I would have loved for Carolina to have a little bit more firepower, or if you're going to go the other way, get a guy like Vincent Trocheck to make sure that you've got the horses that can lock down what Tampa Bay is going to be bringing.
Michael, we saw the Oilers make a few moves on the defensive side. I can't remember the last time that they brought a player in and that wasn't addressed to fill out the bottom 6 scoring. These guys are brought in to bolster and play the defensive game, because let's face it, Connor and Leon are going to score all the goals here. So it doesn't. So they finally addressed something that they need. What's your overall opinion of what the Oilers did?
Can I be honest, guys?
Yeah, of course.
Wasn't too thrilled with what Edmonton did this year. And, what's the objective in Edmonton? It's Stanley Cup or bust, right? Connor McDavid takes a serious haircut to re-sign in Edmonton. You got him for 2 more years, I believe. He's got to win a championship. I'm looking at this roster going, okay, they got some size on the back end in Connor Murphy. I thought they got Jason Dickinson, who's going to help out, like you said, the bottom six. Colton Dach, another big body. But when you look at them on paper, is this a better Oilers team than we saw last year or the year before? Is this a team that I'm saying, all right, best team in the Pacific, they're going to go all the way? Give me all you've got, Colorado. This Edmonton team's going to be better. Or is it a team where I'm saying, oh boy, 97's got to be unreal and Leon's got to be just as good? And cross my fingers. All right, Tristan Jarry, let's hope that you can, ride this all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Like, I would have loved for Edmonton to go after a Jordan Binnington or a Sergei Bobrovsky, make a big splash. Like, what are you waiting for? You've got the golden goose, the golden geese, really, in McDavid and Draisaitl. You've gone to the final back-to-back years. This is the year where you've got to say, all right, we got to get back there. Florida's not there on the other end. This is our opportunity. But when I'm looking at Edmonton, I'm saying, I don't know. Are they going to get out of the Pacific now that I've seen Anaheim pick up John Carlson? Do they have the horses that they can get past to Colorado? That's a lot to ask, but that's what the goal is for Edmonton, is Stanley Cup or bust. And I don't see a Stanley Cup contender right now.
Michael, last one for you here. What did you make of the Leafs trade deadline? The two names that sat out the last couple of games, or the last game, and McMahon and Lawton get moved there. They couldn't get OEL off the books, but what did you make of the Leafs trade deadline?
Yeah, it wasn't enough, guys. And a year ago, Scott Lawton, the Leafs had to pay a first rounder and a top prospect for this guy. A lot of Brad Treliving's failures this year were, honestly, the players' failures. It's hard to get good value for players when they're having awful years. And I was surprised that the return for Nicholas Waugh, it's a first rounder. It's a first rounder in 2027. But really, at the end of the day, they moved Lawton, Waugh, and Bobby McMahon for a first and a second next year, and then a third, which could be a second rounder, depending on how far, I guess, the team that got McMahon goes, and then a fourth and a fifth. That's not enough. And, I guess you could trade Oliver Ekman-Larsson in the summer, and you could make some other deals for maybe a Morgan Riley in the summer. But the way it's looking right now, this Toronto team was terrible this year, and it doesn't give you any hope that next year is going to be better.
Michael, great stuff. Thank you for taking some time on a busy afternoon. We'll continue to follow your work on the hockey news, and I'm sure we'll have you on before the playoffs.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Michael Tracos from the hockey news there. He said, can I be honest? Of course. That's what we're here for.
The golden gaggle of geese are more like a murder of crows, according to Michael Tracos.
Because you, me, and Dusty are all in the same boat. Filled the needs, but we need to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. We do have the trade details.
Yes. Breaking news, David Pagnotta, and Elliot Friedman. Everybody reporting this. So to Colorado, Nazem Kadri, a fourth rounder in 2027. To Calgary, conditional 2028 first rounder, conditional 2027 second round pick, Victor Olofsson, Max Curran, and the Flames retaining 20% of Kadri's salary.
So they do get a roster player in Victor Olofsson that heads there. So, some tidy work there, getting some picks and getting a player that he's kind of up and down for sure. Max Curran, we'll wait and see on that, what he turns into. So, yeah, I mean, what a trade. At least we got one big trade on this day. And, man, the Avalanche are just fantastic. Max Curran, he's an Edmonton Oil King right now. Prospect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's got 41 points in 31 games. So he's going to the Flames. Let the rivalry begin. Okay, quickly. Inside the Numbers play, Alberta. Screw it, let's do it, parlay. Hit it, Coop. Or don't. Okay.
On the wrong page.
Let's take a risk today. No sense being safe.
We need a huge payday. Okay, who wants to go first?
Oscar Piastri to win the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Win. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Good job.
Jeez. Yeah.
Good job, Hawk.
What?
No, it's good. I love it.
I know it's good. I picked it.
Let's go, Coop.
Okay. Yeah. Screw it. I'll take the Ducks against the Canadians.
To win?
To win. Money line. 7 o'clock puck drop from Anaheim.
Okay, I'm going to go at least 2 goals. Is that 2 goals?
Jesus.
For each team between the Avalanche and the Stars.
At least 2 goals?
Both teams to score 2 goals.
Oh.
That's how you say it.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say, like...
I don't even know if you can do that.
Should go the over, like
yeah, well, you just
5.5.
making stuff up. Don't you look at Play Alberta to see that's available or no?
Let's go. Piastri to win the Australian GP.
Doesn't care.
No, I think he can. Dusty to win. Ducks to win. And Avstars to both score 2 goals. Who's riding? Let's go. Hey, it's been a fun week. Trade deadline is over. And next, it's just Edmonton Oilers hockey and their push to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Is going to be fun times. We got March Madness coming up. We got F1 starting. It's going to be a great week next week. Everybody enjoy the game tonight. Stay safe. Could play the music. And we roll along. Don't go anywhere. Reed Wilkins coming up 3 to 6. Tom Gazzola with the Old Stream pregame show at 6 o'clock. And the boys will be back later tonight once again for the postgame show. It's Matty Cassian's last show. Make sure you chime in and send them some well wishes. We love Matty Cassian. Make them cry. For Coop, for Joaquin, Hernan saying, we'll see you tonight down at Rogers Place. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Chowders.